Look, I'm not the type of person that has a problem with tearing something apart or being overly critical about something, especially when it's deserved. Most things, there is valid criticism to it, even though some people these days feel like, oh, just watch and consume. Don't overly criticize something. You're being too harsh. I don't believe any of that. I feel like you can go as extreme or tame, like or dislike, whatever you want. All opinions are valid in my opinion. And film is subjective. With that all being said, I do have to talk about this extreme amount of nitpickiness that's going around with the Superman movie coming out this year. Look, are there things to criticize and be worried about? Yes. But goddamn, it's like every new announcement, every new thing that we see from this movie gets torn apart into shreds for I don't see any logical reason. And yes, like I said before, I respect opinions. You can have whatever opinion you want to have about this movie, but what reason is there to be so antagonistic towards James Gunn in this new movie? Why is everything with the new DCU Superman getting looked under this big microscope and to like the highest degree? It's like James Gunn breathed something about his new vision for Superman, or heck, his new DC universe, and fans lose their mind. I get about certain things, like the costume. I have a problem with the costume too. Is it going to ruin the movie? No, and I don't think it's going to ruin the movie. I've seen horrible costumes in superhero movies and TV shows before too, and the overall product was great. Other than the costume and some minor things here and there, what is everyone getting so crazily angry about? Like, I'm genuinely curious, because in my opinion, everything that James Gunn has said so far has actually got me pretty hyped and excited for the new Superman movie and for his new DC universe. Let's start off with talking about Superman specifically, and then we'll go into his DC universe. It sounds like with this new movie, he's going to be trying something different, which is what I want to see from Superman. It looks like it's going to be a blend of tones, but just, a little bit more light and brighter, I guess you could say, than Zack Snyder's Superman. And I don't have a problem with Zack Snyder's Superman as much as other people do. I personally like Man of Steel. I think it's pretty good. I think it's the best Superman movie we've ever had, which isn't saying much because I'm not really a big fan of the other Superman movies. And also what he's saying about what he believes Superman is and what he stands for, it's all things I believe that Superman stands for as well. And it looks like he's not going to make him super overly powerful for no goddamn reason. Like, he's indestructible, nothing can hurt him. It looks like Superman is going to be hurt by just real things, something that's relatable on an emotional human level. And it also looks like he's gonna not be this almighty indestructible being. And I can't stand when Superman is like overly powerful, like nothing can hurt him. Something like Doomsday won't be able to affect him. I know Zack Snyder's Superman was able to get defeated and killed by Doomsday, but that took kryptonite and some other stuff too. It feels like most adaptations of Superman is you lay a finger on him and you like go flying. Indestructible, like nothing can break him. Also, I highly recommend checking out his interview with Michael Rosenbaum, the best Lex Luthor, in my opinion. I think he really gets what my vision of Superman is. I know that's not the vision for other people, but the vision that he has for Superman is what, it's just is from the comics. It's from other material. He's taking bits from the Donner films and a bit of Snyder and a bit of some other Superman media from movies and TV shows. But the thing that really caught my eye is how much praise he gave to Smallville, and that made my heart just grow because I love Smallville. That is one of my all-time favorite TV shows. That's the best version of Superman and Lex Luthor, in my opinion, that we've ever gotten in any kind of movie and TV show. And honestly, I think Smallville did things better than the comics. It's the way they introduce certain things, certain ideas of Superman and his mythos. I love Smallville. It was my childhood TV show. Maybe I'm blinded by nostalgia a bit, but I think it really has some great stuff in that show. And what they did with Superman and Lex Luthor is the best we've ever gotten. And the fact that James Gunn realizes that and sees that makes me really happy and really hopeful for his new take on Superman. So, when talking about the character, it seems like he really understands. And it's possible that James Gunn's all talk and he's not really gonna do what he's setting out to do. But when has James Gunn ever lied? But he's been very transparent with us, which I really love too. I know some people get annoyed when he tweets things about what he wants to do with the DC universe, what he wants to do with Superman. I love that open communication. That is awesome to me. It seems like he really listens to feedback. And let me be clear here, feedback, not blind hatred, blind angry Snyder fans going off at him. And don't get me wrong, I think Warner Brothers did wrong towards Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill. I am with you guys on that. I am with the fan base. Like, Warner Brothers sucks, in my opinion. They cannot handle anything properly. They are just dumb, in my opinion. WB has been treating DC like a dad who keeps firing his kid's coach, moving them to different teams, but then tells his kid to play exactly like LeBron James.
That don't make no sense.
DC has been a mess for the past 30 years, and there's been a lot of highs, but the lows have been unbearably embarrassing. I don't trust DC. I even made a video that I lost all hope for the DC universe, and it wasn't for James Gunn or anything. I've always been a James Gunn fan. He's obviously someone that is competent at his job. At worst, he'll give you an okay movie. Like, he understands the craft of movies and the craft of like storytelling. It's not like he's some sort of executive who wants to make everything generic. That's why I don't understand why people are hating on Gunn. Like, we need this for superhero movies moving forward. We need someone that's actually a visionary, someone that's actually creative, wants to try things different, listens to feedback. All things Marvel is not doing right now. Marvel is being run by a bunch of executives who listen to feedback, sort of, and it's a mess at Marvel right now, and it seems like it's getting worse and worse. And I like Kevin Feige a lot. I think he's one of my favorite people in this industry of all time. He was a big part of my childhood with the MCU. That's a whole other conversation why things are going wrong over there. So no hate towards that man, but I don't know what he's doing with Marvel right now. I don't know if it's his fault or someone else's fault. That's besides the point. James Gunn is saying all the right things. The only thing we really need to be worried about, in my opinion, is Warner Brothers messing with James Gunn's vision and pulling another Snyder on him. And that was why I made that video last year, or it was like a few years ago, about how I lost all hope of DC. I am not always right about everything, so I could be wrong about James Gunn's Superman movie, and this could be a dumpster fire, just plain garbage. My gut feeling, though, is I think it's gonna be really good. I think this is gonna be something that we've been looking for with superhero movies with a long time. I know we have Matt Reeves' Batman movie. I'm not counting that. I'm talking about like universe structure and everything. And James Gunn is saying all the right things. He wants all of his movies to have a different tone. He wants all of his movies to have a creative vision and not rush things out. Actually use practical effects. That's why I can't stand people hating on the Superman trailer because it doesn't have CGI to cover up some of the mistakes, and it drives me crazy because I'm so sick and tired of CGI and bland color grading that every superhero movie now has these days. And only certain superhero movies don't have that gray, ugly, non-vibrant color grading. And James Gunn is aiming to be different than Marvel and do his own thing. He says he wants to do kind of like Star Wars, you know, certain team ups, certain things interconnective here and there. I'm just loving everything James Gunn's doing. I'm sorry, I can't sugarcoat it. I'm not just blindly loving something because I don't do that. I tear things apart when I really can't stand something. When it comes to James Gunn's Superman, he's just doing pretty much everything right, in my opinion. Pretty much saying all the things that I was hoping for the DC universe and just for a superhero universe in general. I do disagree with some things that he's saying, but no person's perfect unless I would be running in and I could have all my opinions in there, and I don't know, people probably would hate those. Who knows at this point? I don't know, that's just me. I don't understand what everyone's getting up in arms about. Literally, he just says something and there's something to like react to it, and it's like so negative. Even with this new trailer, do I think the eyes looked a little funky? Yeah, it looked a little funny to me. I was like, it looked weird, but it was practical effects. And did you guys see the new Superman flying like Top Gun? Like, he's using like Top Gun cameras for this shit. Like, yo, I'm so hyped for this. He has a creative vision, a cool directing style, you know, not something that's just generic. And the color grading looks great in my opinion, using practical effects. Like, I couldn't ask for anything more. And the score is fire. Yo, this is going to be a really great movie. This is going to be a glimpse of what superhero movies are capable of and what they should be. Something that's going to have heart to it, an actual vision that's been taking its time to craft it. This movie, I think, is going to be fire. And let's talk more about his DC universe for a bit. I'm not going to get too much into it because this is mainly about Superman, but his DC universe looks like he has a really solid plan. The movies are kind of like all over the place, like jumping around. But, you know, he's letting the scripts take it's time. Supergirl movie script is already done. It's been worked on and off for a while now, and it's ready to be made, so he's gonna make it now. No need to rush anything. Let's take our time with DC. Let it really be about quality over quantity, please. And it looks like that's what James Gunn wants to do, and Peter Safran. Let's introduce the characters, maybe in like 5 to 10 years. Heck, take that long if you need that much time. Then we'll get the Justice League, and then we'll get all this other stuff that's gonna happen in the DC universe, while we get sprinkles of Elseworlds in between. Well, I was gonna say the Batman's Elseworld, but that might look like it's gonna join the DC universe. I kind of hope it doesn't. We'll see with all of that. This is new. Everything has its own unique tone. I'm loving it. I really am. So instead of all of us getting angry, how about we come together, point out things we dislike, but give it a chance at least? Because, I don't know, to me, James Gunn's not saying anything wrong. I really do not understand the amount of hate this movie is getting. James Gunn has a good track record. He's mostly only made good movies. Let's give this a chance before we just destroy it into millions of pieces. Please, if there was proper reasons for why we should be worried, I would understand, but James Gunn, doesn't really make bad movies, and everything that he's saying is, I think, really good things for Superman.